And now, local sports with Dustin Nolan.
Big day of high school wrestling up in Clinton today at the MAC Championships took place. Bragging rights on the line for a lot of talented wrestlers. So let's go out to the action. We're going to go up to Clinton High School for this one. We start with the 106-pound weight class. Aiden Nicholas from Davenport West taking on Ella Schmidt from Bettendorf. Aiden Nicholas with a reversal, and he would get the major decision win 12-4. Now we jump up to the 145-pound weight class. Peyton Westland from North Scott taking on Carter Donovan from Central DeWitt. Peyton Westland getting the reversal as well, and he would get a major decision. It would be 10-2. Now we go to the 152-pound weight class. Nick Mathis from Bettendorf taking on Aiden Carey from North Scott. Nick Mathis gets the pin in just 1:15 seconds for the win. Now we're going to go to the 220-pound weight class. Bradley Hill from Bettendorf. He'd be taking on Cade Tippett from North Scott. Bradley Hill getting a pin as well. This one in 1:05. He would stay perfect on the season. Now we're going to go to the heavyweights, 285-pound weight class, and it would be future Iowa Hawkeye Griffin Little from Bettendorf taking care of business, getting the takedown here. Griffin Little gets the win in this one with a 5-0 decision. Griffin Little is a 3-time conference champion, so congrats to him and all the winners today. Now North Scott as a team would win the MAC title, but let's hear from a couple individuals on their victory.
It feels great, you know. I put a lot of work in the off season, and I bust my ass every day in the wrestling room, get better, and I tell myself I just gotta get heavy on the head.
Feels pretty good. Last 2 years I came up short, got second and third last 2 years, so it feels good to be on top this year. Going up from 95 to 220, I wasn't too sure about that choice, but now being undefeated going into the postseason feels pretty good.
The Brands family has been a big part of the Iowa Hawkeyes wrestling program for the last several seasons. Now a younger Brands is starting to take over. Nelson Brands is a 184-pound sophomore who is living up to his family name in Iowa City. Hawkeye Headquarters reporter Corey Roldan has our story.
Raised to be a champion of life, Nelson Brands has had high expectations since arriving at Iowa. His dad is Terry Brands, an assistant coach for the Hawkeyes, and his uncle is Tom Brands, the Iowa wrestling program's head coach. Both Tom and Terry have unique personalities, but Nelson says he's a little bit more chill.
I'd say I'm very, very, very competitive. Like, if they said who's gonna talk first on this Zoom call, I'm gonna speak first. I want to be first. I want to be first in pretty much everything that I do. And I mean, I'd have instances in my life growing up where I'd try to get to the first of the line in third grade, and I got in trouble for that. And things like that are definitely similar to Tom and Terry. And I feel like I'm a way different person though when it comes to like being more mellow and chill with wrestling or just life in general. I want to say more relatable, but I don't want to bash my dad and Tom. So
wrestling in weight class 184, Nelson Brands is off to a 2-0 start this season. And although they are a wrestling family, Tom Brands says that they did not make Nelson wrestle as a kid. He chose this life.
Terry was hands-off, surprisingly so, and that surprises people, but it doesn't surprise me. We want individuals in our program, and Nelson's his own man, and you know, he was raised like you raise your kids. He wasn't raised to be a champion on the mat. He was raised to be a champion in life, and he chose wrestling.
Since the Brands are a wrestling family, what would happen if Nelson tried to wrestle his dad?
Terry jokes with me a lot. He'll go, "You want to go a match?" I'm like, "You do not want to go a match." And the last time we went a match, I was a freshman in high school, and it was a full extent match, and I lost 11-8, I think. And it was not fun, and I don't think it'd be very fun for him if we wrestled right now, which I'm sure we won't, but if he wants to, when he doesn't really care about his low back, we might go.
So we know about his wrestling ability, but the real question here is, what's Nelson's choice of music?
He's popular with his teammates, I'll say that. He's pretty light-hearted, and he likes Kesha. What more can you say? I'm a Kesha fan myself.
The top-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes will return home to face Illinois at 11 o'clock on Sunday. With this Hawkeye Headquarters report, I'm Corey Roldan, Local 4 Sports.
All right, thank you, Corey. The 7th-ranked Iowa Hawkeye men's basketball team lost their 2nd straight game of the season for the first time this season in an 80-75 loss to the 19th-ranked Illinois Illini. And with 1:06 left in the game, Kofi Coburn was called for a goaltending on a Joe Wieskamp shot. Wieskamp would have scored on the putback had that call not been made and maybe changed the outcome in the game in the Hawkeyes' favor in the end.
To me, it's just frustrating looking back. I mean, even if it is a block, I got the rebound, put it right back in. So I don't even know if the ref blew the whistle or not, but either way, it's kind of on them, and it should have been 2 points, either on the first one or on the second one. We should have been down 2 with a minute left, so definitely frustrating there.
Where, you lose the game and you start looking at, well, this guy should have done this, and I should have done that, and that guy should have done this. And we were in a position to win the game. We had a chance. And with a couple roll out on us coming down the stretch, they hit a couple shots, give them credit for that. I think we learned a lot about ourselves in terms of how to play the zone better, how to play transition defense better. I thought our execution was pretty good offensively. But that said, I thought it was a hard-fought, well-played game.
Tough loss for the Hawkeyes for sure, but they are still one of the best in the country. For now, that's it for sports. I'll send it back to you, Eric.
All right, Dustin, thank you. They are looking good. Now, coming up, we'll take a look at road conditions as we continue coverage of tonight's winter storm. It's next on Local 4 News at 10.